A good variation can make a C tier map into an A tier map. Here are some variation concepts I have for Full Tilt. In the final section, there's been a drum added to prevent players from exploiting the seesaws. What if instead we added a Yeetus? Much like in Seesaw, this location right here would be perfect due to the fact that there's a ring right in front of the potential Yeetus. Out of all the ideas, this one will be the most likely to be added. The Yeetus can help with the exploiting problem since players have another way of getting to the seesaws. The swiveling fan was introduced in airtime. This would fit well in the last section of Full Tilt. I could see it being placed right before the platform on the extreme left or the extreme right, so that players could get blown off when they're about to get on the platform. Or it could be placed right around here, right before the player steps onto the first ring. Instead of the cones in the middle of the seesaws, let's add the expanding balloons. Hear me out, this idea sounds wild, but I absolutely love it. This idea came from a fellow viewer of the channel, Luke World, and basically his idea was to add the expanding frogs in place of the cones. Personally, I would add the balloons instead because they fit more with Season 6's theme. This would add some much needed chaos to this map and would certainly make traversing this map a bit of a challenge. The great thing about the flippers is that they can be added to almost any map with little to no issues. The flippers or slingus flingus would either fling the player forwards or backwards at random intervals, and I'd place them on the sides since that's how people usually cross the seesaws. I think the flippers should be about the size of the ones on Freezy Peak, just enough to where you have to jump dive over it or risk it and hope it flings you forwards. Adding this at the beginning would be great since loads of people start off at the same time, and this could replace the blue rotating beam. Flippers on both sides would be ideal, so there's no real way to avoid it. Extra chaos points if they add the flippers with the expanding balloons. While on the topic of adding things to the seesaws, rotating hammers would be such a pain to deal with, and that's why I want this to be a thing so badly. The small rotating hammers might not work for this, and the big ones might be overkill, but hammers on the seesaws will be a fun addition, and I just hope Mediatonic can make it work if they do choose to add it to the game. While adding the axes on the seesaws wouldn't make much sense, adding them right before you get on the seesaw will be a great source of chaos and will be a fun touch. I'd add them right before the start of a new section, so right around here, and I would increase their speed just a smidge so it's not too tough to get by. You could even have the different sections have different axe speeds. So for example, the first zone is slow, the second zone is fast, and the third zone is slow again. You could keep the axe speeds the same, or you could randomize it if you want to. Comment below if you have any ideas for possible variations for Full Tilt, and subscribe.